is looking deep down the left side. Mendeville into the end zone. Touchdown!
Down the sideline, still falling to the house.
And the players streaming from the sideline to celebrate with 17 seconds left.
Welcome into BVarsity Live, everybody. I'm Zach Ewing. Trevor Horns over there.
You're welcome.
Thursday, February 2nd. Yeah, I had to turn Scott Cox's volume down because the guy's deaf and
What?
yeah, exactly. Makes my eyes water to hear it in one ear. Hey, anyway, I'm back. I missed last week.
Yeah. Did you have a nice nap?
I did. It was no, I actually didn't. It was pretty vicious headache. Got a hold of me.
I don't like migraines.
Yeah, no fun. But hey, we
No one
welcome
cares
in
about you. Let's move on.
today. We've got signing day coverage today. We've also got a few wrestling things to get to, some basketball, some soccer. But we're going to start with basketball, boys basketball. The South High Rebels are in the house. Coach Clayton Madden. What am I saying? I got football in the brain. I guess Super Bowl Sunday. Clayton Madden. Also, seniors Jose Aguilar and Emmanuel Mixon. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
Well,
We're glad that you could join us here. And those of you who didn't see it, Trevor wrote a story in Sunday's Californian, the newspaper, which still exists, by the way. You should subscribe.
Yes. Tell your parents.
Press up, right? And it was a story kind of detailing how you guys had to deal with a tragedy early in the year. And it was the death of your coach, Brian Carter, just a couple of weeks before the season started. In fact, just days, I think, before practice started. And he died in a car accident. And really put you all into scramble mode a little bit. And I think in that situation, it's fair to wonder, how do you get out of it? And Coach Madden, I'll start with you. They sort of, as a South High grad, people at the school recruited you to come in and help out with the situation. And you have to feel pretty torn in that situation, I would think.
I was. I mean, when I left Centennial, honestly, I was enjoying the good life, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Enjoying my evenings off, spending time with my children. Stepped away from the game for a little bit and started missing it. So I started coaching a little club basketball team of third and fourth graders. So when Coach Carter's incident occurred, I started receiving text messages. And because of my work schedule, I couldn't give that full commitment to coaching, and so I declined. Mm-hmm. Then I got a couple more, and I respectfully declined again, and then again, and then probably about the third or fourth message, started sitting in. Maybe it's a sign for me to go back, mm-hmm. And I talked it over with my wife, and when she gave her full support. Talked it over with my job, and my job, they moved mountains for me to go back to South High. So all the stars lined up for me, and I ended up back home.
And that job is obviously with your new police chief over the Bakersfield Police Department, Lyle Martin, helping you out. For those that don't know, you're a sergeant with the police department. Clayton, for you, I mean, when you think about your past growing up in the same neighborhood as these guys, and then you working in the same neighborhood and helping with troubled youth, how much of both of those played into your ability to really connect with these guys? Even though maybe, as we'll get into later, it wasn't easy at first, it helped that transition period and has really made this moment, this season, so special for you guys.
It did. It helped out quite a bit. I was able to relate to some of the boys that were on the team. Just listening to their conversations amongst their teammates, and then add my input to some of the issues that they were dealing with. It was an easy transition for me to integrate my life experiences into theirs. So,
Jose, for those that don't know this story already, obviously, you guys loved Coach Carter, and you'll always love Coach Carter and what he brought to the table for you guys and how much of a friend and mentor he was for you. For you, as the point guard and the leader on the court, just talk about the first few days with Coach Madden and how it went from kind of, a rocky situation to, a great one that it is now.
Well, at first, honestly, I gotta say, I really wasn't happy with the decision. I thought we had could have had a better coach, but going through the season, he helped us progress, he helped us not just with basketball. He helped us outside with school, with our life, and just our problems outside. So I really liked how he helped us throughout all our problems.
I think one of the neatest stories that we didn't get to in the story that I'd like to talk about now, Emmanuel, for you, let's go back to that situation where Coach threw you onto the second team in practice and how it kind of threw you for a loop. Can you explain that situation a little bit more and kind of your standpoint, and then we'll get the real side from Coach Madden.
Yeah, when he first threw me on the second team, I was playing as a starter, and it was getting kind of frustrating because the second team wasn't like going through the plays right, and so I was getting frustrated, and I wasn't playing through my full potential. And my coach told me that why he put me on the second team and how important it is for me to step up. And so I actually started realizing it, and once I started realizing it, it got to my head, and I actually started playing better and started leading as a team.
Clayton, you?
Yeah, wow. When I first saw Emmanuel play, maybe the first or second practice, I just saw a wealth of potential in him. I just thought that he was really reserved with his game and his leadership. He was okay with just being in the shadows on the team. And he just had so much potential to really lead our team. And so I had a conversation with him. I said, hey, I'm going to need you to at least shoot the ball about 20 times a game. I said, I'm going to put you all over the floor to put you in successful positions. And his words were, Coach, I don't think the team will want me to do that. I don't want them to think I'm hogging the ball. So I told him, I said, it wasn't his job to worry about that. It was my job. I want you to shoot the ball. So it didn't work. The next day we started practice, and he was just passing up wide open shots. I said, okay. So I took him off the starting five and put him on the second team. And his team was still winning. But you can see his game starting to elevate. And you can see his confidence starting to grow. And you can see that his teammates started relying on him. And so probably about the second or third practice, he and I talked. And I told him, I said, now do you see why I did what I did? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I go, I put you on that team so you are forced to step your game up. And I wanted you to see that it was okay. And it was like a light switch, and ever since then, he's been big game.
And the result, obviously, South, you guys are atop the SEYL standings and looking for a very good seed in the Central Section playoffs, which will begin here, shooting 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Anyway, I guess the question is sort of backtracking, guys. You had those week or two of limbo where you didn't have a coach. Coach Carter was gone, didn't have Coach Madden yet. What was that like, Emmanuel? Because everybody else is practicing and they have a plan and they know what they're doing, and you guys are sitting there sort of wondering what's going to happen.
It was like a missing piece to a puzzle, because once practice was at 3 and we didn't know how we was going to practice. We all remember what we did with Carter, so that's how we was going to run practice. But at the same time, it's how we know if you did something wrong or not, and how we know how to run through the plays correctly and stuff like that. And so without a coach for a couple of days, it was kind of hard bringing everybody together after everybody's being sad and stuff like that, and having everybody all together as one.
Yeah, and Jose, you said you thought when Coach Madden came in, hey, we could have gotten somebody better. Do you think any coach who came in and changed things in that moment where you guys are sort of fragile and emotional and sad, do you think you could have accepted anybody else right away, or did you need some time?
Well, it's because we had an assistant coach that I thought could have helped us better. But since he was only one guy, it would be hard for him to take care of the whole team. And so it would have been a harder transition, I would say. And I think Coach Madden has helped us more, having more coaches and helping us out more.
Right. But, Coach, you knew you were in some ways walking into a hornet's nest there of emotions and everything else.
I did. when I walked in, I knew the kids were going to go through an emotional roller coaster, and I was correct. I mean, you know, you went from sadness, and then you went to anger. You know, you have this new coach coming in. Who is this guy? And I remember Jose walking up to me, and I think maybe the first or second practice, he goes, "We run the DDA." You remember that?
Yeah.
And I go, "The dribble drive attack?" He goes, "Yeah, that was our offense last year. We want to run that this year." And I said, "Well, let me take a look at the personnel. Let me see if it fits that offense." But and then it went from, you know, the fear of the unknown. You know, what are they going to get out of me? Am I going to come in and totally just dismantle everything that Carter had built? So there were a lot of emotions I dealt with, but you know, just through numerous conversations, you know, and just that trust. You can see the trust starting to build day after day after day after day. Everything started to turn out the way we expected.
You remember
Life's not a movie. Sorry, Trevor. Just there's not always one scene where, you know, the inspirational music plays and all of a sudden the kids all buy in. But was there a time where you felt like, okay, now we're getting somewhere? When did that happen? What did it take?
We lost our first game to Delano. We turned the ball over 40 times.
43 times. Sorry.
And yes.
Sorry.
There's
It's
only
an
32
incredible
minutes in a game. There's only 32 minutes on high school.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
it's
horrible.
funny because I was going to bring this up. I mean, we talk about sometimes numbers get skewed, and there's a certain player on a certain team in town whose numbers I think are getting a little skewed, and that's for this player's, you know, betterment. Where you're not skewing these numbers. You told me straight up 43. I mean, that's not a number you're going to make up.
And it's probably more than that. We have Coach Randall Walker, who takes great stats. He was charting them. At halftime, he'd give me the stat sheet. You know, we're at 21 turnovers or 17 turnovers. But after that game, you know, the kids were disappointed. But then I told them, I said, you know, those were 43 attempts we didn't get at the basket. And we still only lost the ball game by 3 points. And so you can see the light switch starting to come on. But maybe a day or two after that, we grouped up center court after practice, and you can still see some of the resentment from some of the kids about me and the other coaches being there. And that's when I started talking about my life experiences, and they were able to relate at that point. And again, that's where you can start seeing the trust build. And many of them didn't know that I actually played basketball at
You were
South
okay.
So I had to bring in some of my stories just to get that credibility. And after that, you know, you can see that the trust, and they started saying, hey, I think he knows what he's talking about a little bit.
Jose, did some guys buy in before others? Did some of you have to bring the others along? I mean, how did that work out?
Yeah, some didn't want to buy in at all. They didn't want to play for the team, and I felt like we needed everyone we could bring with us. So I tried to bring everyone. With some it took a long time. Some were quicker than others, and we just eventually all bought into him.
Was there a point, Emmanuel, where you sort of felt like we're in a good spot now?
Yeah. I think it was when after we played Golden Valley, and I was just like, yeah, this feels like basketball again. And it felt like, you know, we do have a good coach with us, and everybody, after that, I think everybody got into one, and we all played as one.
Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break. If we can have you guys back right after the break, that'd be great. If you guys don't mind sticking around for a few more minutes. This is BVarsity Live. You're listening to Bakersfield.com, and we'll be back with the South High Boys right after this.